Hey there guys, how are you? Welcome back to another video. Post-pandemic, the entire Hollywood is trying to get back to its original place. Marvel is not behind and is working its way out of the aftermath of the pandemic on the movie industry. Amidst it all, its newly released Eternals faced the lowest rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Yes, you will be shocked to know that Eternals becomes the lowest rated film in the MCU. But before we get into it, make sure to subscribe to our channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of our new videos. Let's get started! Number 4. Eternals debut.
We came here 7,000 years ago to protect humans from the deviants.
Eternals was released across all platforms on November 5th. It had a very good debut at the box office this weekend. It had done pretty good business as the film managed to gain $71 million at the domestic box office. It managed to gain 4th place in the films that debuted in the pandemic. It was behind Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which was another Marvel Cinematic Universe film. They managed to earn $75.3 million in 3 days of September and did pretty well. However, Eternals was expected to do much better and could not live up to the expectations. It came as a shocker as the film was directed by none other than the Oscar winner Chloé Zhao. The film received mixed reviews and received the lowest rating for any MCU movie so far. It became the first film that only gained 48% of critics in favor of Rotten Tomatoes. The review site uses a transparent system of rating with giving critics to either choose between rotten or fresh. All the reviews are combined to give a percentage of positive reviews. A move above 60% is fresh, while below that is rotten. 2 of the Marvel movies, The Incredible Hulk and Thor: The Dark World, were the only ones who could not achieve a title of certified fresh. At least they did get the fresh status and were above the threshold of 60%. Eternals couldn't achieve that as well. Number 3. Audience's reception. Previous Marvel films managed to gain positive responses from the audience. Eternals failed in this department. CinemaScore awarded it with a B score. It was what an average film received, which was unusual for a Marvel film. To other films, it was not that bad for MCU. In the 13 years, the first film got this score. It was habitual of getting A or A- grades, so we can imagine the shock that the MCU faced. Analysts believe that Eternals needs to strengthen up its game of word of mouth to have a good performance in the long term. This least ranking made it worse than the other weak films such as Thor, which managed to gain 60% responses only. As per Jeff Block, any other studio would have been celebrating the success, but not Marvel. It has a history of strong films at the box office, so this was a blow. The word of mouth could not do much for them as people would start believing that the film is not worth spending money or time on. The coming weekends were expected to see a further drop. Number 2. Star cast failed. Eternals, that was released in cinemas on 5th November, had a star-studded cast. It included Salma Hayek, Angelina Jolie, Richard Madden, Kit Harington, Gemma Chan, and Kumail Nanjiani. It was based on the Marvel comics, which shared the same name as this film. The story focuses on the race among immortal aliens, which were named Eternals. The race was led by none other than Chan Cersei. Eternals was released to save humankind from all the evil doings around them. They were none other than the deviants. Some rated the movie as thrilling, while some called it a thorough disappointment. 3 stars were given by Digital Spy, who was in awe with the film's premise and the star cast. However, the film had some very basic flaws that could have been avoided. The scale was set high for Eternals like any other MCU movie, but looks like it was too much for the film to handle. Many critics did praise the scope and ambition of the film, but the rest were not happy with it. It was nothing more than some spandex people going non-stop for 3 hours, fighting their way through each other. BBC slammed the movie by calling it a disappointment instead of worse. It didn't carry that breezy wit that most of the Marvel movies had. Looks like people had a lot of expectations from MCU regarding Eternals, but it failed in all aspects in giving the audience what they desired. Number 1. Harington discussing Camden. It might not be directly related to Eternals' failure, but it somehow made the headlines along with Eternals' low ratings. Harington, one of the star cast, openly discussed the death of Amy Winehouse and how it resulted in the actual spirit that the state of Camden carried. It is one of the locations for the film's shooting, which might have affected the charm in the film. The singer mentioned that before that place had some good spirit to it, which is missing and might have resulted in the bad luck of the film. Whatever the reason was, the film could not live up to people's expectations. Well, that's the end of today's video, guys. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, give this video a like. Also, check the 2 other videos on your screen if you like our content. We'll be back with another video soon, but until then, goodbye and take care!